Have you ever wondered why some people seem to get away with disrespecting others? Consider the realm of dark psychology a fascinating yet unnerving dimension of the human psyche. It's a world that reveals the underlying mechanisms behind manipulation, deceit, and control. This is not mere fiction. It's a real, tangible part of our daily interactions, often used by individuals to commandeer the will and actions of others. Dark psychology exploits the vulnerabilities of the human mind, bending it subtly to the manipulator's will. It's the art of influence, the science of coercion, the craft of mental dominance, and it's more prevalent than you might think. When it comes to disrespect, dark psychology offers a unique lens through which to view this behavior. It's not just about understanding why some people disrespect others, but also about how they do it and how they manage to evade the consequences. As we delve deeper, you'll discover how dark psychology is used to handle disrespect. Picture this. You're in a heated argument with a colleague who constantly belittles you. The conversation takes a turn. Your colleague starts questioning your memory, your logic, even your sanity. You're experiencing gaslighting, a dark psychological tactic often used to gain control and power. Envision gaslighting as a slow-drip poison. It's subtle, yet steadily erodes your self-confidence, making you question your reality. It's a gradual process, moving from occasional doubts about your memory to a full-blown crisis of self-belief. Gaslighting can be as simple as someone insisting that a conversation you remember vividly never happened, or as complex as a person altering physical evidence to support their false narrative. It's a technique often employed by individuals with narcissistic tendencies, aiming to destabilize and delegitimize the victim's perspective. The effects can be devastating, leading to anxiety, depression, and a loss of trust in oneself. Gaslighting can be a disorienting experience, but being aware of it is the first step to counter it. Imagine a friend who always dismisses your ideas. It's frustrating, isn't it? Picture this. You've got a friend, let's call him Tom. Tom is a good guy, but he has a habit of brushing off your ideas, making you feel disrespected. Here's where the power of negative reinforcement comes into play. It's a technique that involves removing something unpleasant when a desired behavior is exhibited. In this case, you start by being more assertive with Tom. When he dismisses your ideas, you assertively communicate how this makes you feel. But here's the twist. Every time Tom acknowledges your ideas without dismissing them, you stop being assertive. You're removing an unpleasant experience, your assertiveness, when Tom displays the behavior you want. With time, Tom starts to realize that he gets a more pleasant interaction with you when he respects your ideas. Negative reinforcement isn't about punishment. Instead, it's about shaping behavior by controlling consequences. Negative reinforcement can be a powerful tool if used correctly. Have you ever been dazzled by someone's charm only to realize later that they were manipulating you? Let's delve into the dark psychology of narcissism, where charm is a tool for manipulation and disrespect. Picture this. You meet someone who is charismatic, persuasive, and seemingly attentive. They shower you with compliments, making you feel special and unique. That's the initial charm of a narcissist. But as time progresses, you start to notice a pattern. Their charm is a mask to manipulate your feelings and actions. They twist situations to make themselves the victim or the hero, always at the center of attention. They disregard your feelings and belittle your achievements, all under the guise of their captivating charisma. This is the dark charm of the narcissist, a master of manipulation who uses their allure to control and disrespect others. Remember, not all that glitters is gold. Narcissists can be charming, but their charm often hides a darker intent. Remember that time when someone gave you a backhanded compliment? Let's delve into a story about Jane. She was complimented by her colleague Mark for her presentation skills, but the compliment, "You sure know how to make boring facts sound interesting," had an undertone of disrespect. This is a classic example of passive aggression. This technique is a dark side of psychology where disrespect is delivered subtly, often disguised as praise or seemingly harmless comments. It's like a stealthy attack that leaves the target confused, questioning whether they've been complimented or insulted. Passive aggression is a powerful tool in the arsenal of individuals who prefer indirect confrontation. They use it to express their displeasure or contempt without engaging in open conflict. It's a way to undermine and belittle others, making them question their worth while maintaining a veneer of politeness. Passive aggression can be subtle, but it's a form of disrespect that shouldn't be overlooked. Ever dealt with someone who constantly blames you for their mistakes? This is a classic example of psychological projection, a fascinating and complex technique in the world of dark psychology. Let's imagine a situation. You have a coworker, let's call her Jane. Jane is always late for meetings, but instead of owning up to her tardiness, she accuses you of holding up the team. This is psychological projection. Jane is effectively offloading her feelings of guilt and inadequacy onto you. It's a defense mechanism, a way for Jane to protect her ego from the uncomfortable truth of her own shortcomings. It's a subtle form of disrespect, an attempt to undermine your credibility while deflecting attention from her own failings. But by understanding this technique, you can navigate these situations with grace and poise. You can disarm the projection, deflect the disrespect, and maintain your integrity. Psychological projection can be confusing, but recognizing it can help you handle disrespect. Think about that time when someone made you feel guilty for their shortcomings. Let's dive into a story. Imagine a friend who's perpetually late, causing you to miss out on events. Instead of taking responsibility, they turn it around, making you feel guilty for not being understanding of their busy schedule. This, my friends, is classic guilt tripping. A guilt trip is a type of psychological manipulation where a person makes someone else feel guilty for things they have no control over. It's a sly move of shifting blame and responsibility, often used as a tool to gain power or escape accountability. It's a form of disrespect that can leave you feeling drained and confused. Now, it's crucial to understand this tactic to protect yourself. Recognize when you're being guilt-tripped. Stand your ground. Communicate openly about the unfairness of the situation. The key is not to let someone else's mistakes weigh on your conscience. Guilt-tripping is a manipulative tactic, but understanding it can help you handle disrespect. Have you ever been treated as less than human by someone? It's an uncomfortable question, but it probes into the dark corner of psychology known as dehumanization. Let's unpack this with a story. Imagine a young woman, we'll call her Jane. Jane worked in a high-stress environment where her boss constantly belittled her, treating her as if she was an object, not a person. This is dehumanization, a technique that sees people reduced to less than their humanity. Used with malicious intent, it's a powerful tool for disrespect. It strips away the individuality, the quirks, the human essence that makes us unique. It's a way for the perpetrator to distance themselves, to separate the person from their actions. But it's more than just a psychological trick. It can cause real, tangible harm. Jane, like many others, started to believe the narrative her boss was spinning. But recognizing the signs of dehumanization was her first step towards handling disrespect. Dehumanization can be damaging, but recognizing it can help you handle disrespect. Remember that time when you were put in a situation where you couldn't win? This, my friends, is the essence of the double bind, a dark psychology technique that can leave you feeling disrespected and manipulated. Imagine your Jim, a hardworking employee. Your boss, a master of the double bind, tells you to take initiative, but then criticizes you for overstepping your boundaries when you do. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is a classic example of a double bind situation. The double bind technique is a powerful tool in the arsenal of those who wish to manipulate others. It puts the receiver in a lose-lose situation, causing stress and confusion. It's a way of exerting control and disrespecting others without appearing overtly aggressive, but don't despair. Recognizing the double bind for what it is the first step in navigating these complex situations and maintaining your self-respect. Double bind situations can be complex, but understanding them can help you handle disrespect. Dark psychology can be a daunting topic, but understanding it can help you navigate disrespect. We ventured into the shadows of the human mind, exploring 10 techniques that darken our interactions. We uncovered the art of gaslighting, where reality is manipulated to sow doubt. We delved into the power of negative reinforcement, a tool that can twist behavior patterns. We examined the charm of the narcissist, the subtlety of passive aggression, and the intricacies of psychological projection. We also discussed the manipulation of guilt tripping, the danger of dehumanization, and the complexity of the double bind. Each of these techniques can be used to handle disrespect, but remember, they should be recognized and handled with care. These insights are not meant to encourage the use of dark psychology, but rather to arm you with knowledge. Awareness is the first step towards combating disrespect. Remember, knowledge is power.